Tonight on News 5 Live, a BEL employee is gunned down in front of his family during an attack involving a pair of armed men. Sand Creek West Area Rep Rodwell Ferguson responds to recent allegations made against him. The Minister of Transport tells the Prime Minister, "Dash me out of your cabinet if you find any wrongdoings against me with any air conditioners." BSI weighs in on a request for increase in the cost of brown sugar. And La Ruta Maya, it's here again. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Staying connected with your loved ones while traveling is even more important during this global pandemic. With Digi, this is even easier and more convenient with our data roaming plans. Postpaid customers have instant access to mobile data when in 41 destinations worldwide. With 3 affordable plans, starting at only $28, it's easy to instantly connect via your favorite digital platform. To purchase your data roaming plan, contact Digi before your travel date. If you are already abroad, you can contact us via email at digihelp@livedigi.com or via WhatsApp at 608-8888. For more information, visit our website at livedigi.com/digicel or visit a Digi store near you. You can roam, stay safe, and stay connected with Digi.
Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Channel 5 Belize. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Channel 5 Belize.
On March 5th in Belize City, the 94th edition of the Baron Bliss Harbor Regatta takes place off Seashore Drive in the Buttonwood Bay area of Belize City. Come out at 9 a.m. and witness as 6 sailing clubs battle head-to-head for the coveted title of champions and thousands of dollars in cash and prizes. It's a showdown that you won't want to miss, as the spectacular 16 sailing dories from Gales Point, Malante is back. Come on out and tailgate along the shore or find that perfect spot to barbecue and imbibe while enjoying the sights and sounds of the Baron Bliss Harbor Regatta. Sunday, March 5th at 9 a.m. Sponsors are the Bliss Trust, Honorable Anthony Mahler and the BTB, Mahias United, Honorable Dolores Valderramas Garcia, Bowen & Bowen, and Mr. Wally Brown. Special thanks to the Belize Coast Guard, the Belize Ports Authority, and the Belize City Council.
Indulge the flavor. Go beyond meat. Looks like meat. Tastes like meat. But it's better than meat. 100% plant-based, rich in protein, 50% less saturated fat, no GMOs, no added soy, packed with benefits and sustainable. Beyond meat, good for you, good for the environment. Now available in 6 different types of products in Belize. Beyond Burger, Beyond Sausage, Beyond Beef, Beyond Chicken Nuggets, Beyond Chicken Tenders, Beyond Steak, Beyond Meat, distributed by United Distributors Limited.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live for Friday, March 3rd. I am Annalena Polonio. A murder was recorded in Belize City today. Just before 11 a.m., Brian Perez succumbed to a gunshot injury he received on Thursday night at his rented home on Gill Street in Belize City. The 38-year-old, who has a twin brother, had just arrived home with his family when they were accosted by two men. His mother and sister were struck with what is believed to be a metal pipe, and in that moment, one of the assailants approached Perez and fired a deadly shot. The BEL employee was living at the house for about 5 years and is not known to have been in any conflict. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports on the incident that occurred around 7:30 p.m.
Brian Perez, an employee of Belize Electricity Limited, has been living with his wife and children in this rented house located at the rear of this fenced yard on Gill Street for the past 5 years. After purchasing groceries on Thursday night, he arrived at home in the company of his wife, his mother, and his teenage sister. But as they were removing the goods from the vehicle, reports are that his mother and sister were attacked by two men with a metal pipe.
I heard a lot of screaming and shouting and shrieking and really dramatic. So I told my brother I was going to call him back. I need to know what's happening outside. And so I went outside. I looked up the street because I thought it was down the street. I never thought it was in the same yard. I was right at home. We were watching the news. It was early. That's the next surprising thing. It was early. The news had just finished.
Like
when I heard the screaming, I mean, it was a pitiful screaming. And when we opened our doors, you know, the guy's mom, she was bleeding. His little sister was bleeding, and he was on the floor bleeding.
Perez was already inside the house, and when he came out to the commotion, one of the assailants came up to him and fired a single shot at close range. The two men then fled the area by jumping the fence and running off into Rosspen Road. The landlord, who wished not to disclose her name, describes what she saw when she got outside.
I saw his wife coming to me, and she had blood on her, and she was screaming and she was bawling, and she said that someone invaded their house, someone went in there and shot her husband. I was really in disbelief because that has never happened in this yard before. So I went to see for myself, and when I went there, he was right by the door on the floor, face down, and he was bleeding. But I didn't know if he was dead or so. I just saw him like that, and the neighbors called for police, and police came.
The 38-year-old electrical technician was rushed to the Carl Hushner Memorial Hospital in the pan of a police pickup truck and into surgery. He was in a critical condition until this morning when he succumbed to his injury. A statement from BEL says, quote, "We are heartbroken at the loss of our dear Brian Perez. Brian gave BEL 20 years of dedicated service, over which time he developed close friendships and contributed meaningfully to the work of serving our customers. We will miss him dearly, and we pray for his family as they grieve his passing," unquote. So what triggered the deadly violence against Perez and his family?
He lived with his family. He had his wife, his common law wife, and their children. They recently had a baby who is 3 months old. And sometimes his mom come to visit. As what happened is his mom was here. His mom and his little sister was here visiting, so sometimes they come and visit him occasionally. He's a working man, he's a quiet person, he's a family-oriented person. You know, you could ask him to help you with anything, and he will help you, because he's an electrician too. And he is all for family. He's not from Belize City, so he doesn't have any friends here, I guess, apart from where he works. You know, he's very stable. He has been working at BL for about 18, 19 years now. So it's disheartening. It's really, really disheartening. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to say.
Even though she has lived in the area all her life, the landlady says that it has shattered her sense of safety. How do you regain your sense of security?
I think that's not only up to me. I can't put cameras or so, but it's up to the people in authority, because they need to put more cameras on the street, especially in gang infested areas like these. They need to do more. They need to do more, you know, for the security of the citizens.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Elmerna, the former police corporal who is charged with the double murder of the Ramirez brothers from Belmopan, appeared in court again today, but Na spent fewer than 5 minutes in court before he was given a new adjournment date. He was returned on remand to the custody of the Belize Central Prison until May 17th, and just like he did on his first arraignment, Na had a lot of words for the cameras. After the magistrate assigned him a new court date, Na was escorted away by 2 heavily armed policemen who returned him to the prison. But he used the opportunity of the cameras rolling to make his point. Na had appeared before Senior Magistrate Baja Showman on February 10th when he was read his 3rd charge of murder, that of Vivian Ramirez. On that occasion, he was also charged with the attempted murder, use of deadly means of harm, and wounding upon Yemi Alberto. Alberto was shot along with Vivian Ramirez and their 2 spouses, brothers John and David Ramirez, on the night of New Year's Eve. David Ramirez and Yemi Alberto had gone to visit John and Vivian Ramirez at their home in the Maya Mopan area of Belmopan when they were ambushed by a gunman who entered the premises and shot all 4 several times. Coming up, Minister of Transport threatens legal action following AC allegations. Find out the details when we come back.
Hello friends, I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that you sorrow not, even as others which have no hope." Hope is a wonderful asset to possess. Hope is wonderful to have when one receives a bad report from a doctor, when one loses their job, or when financial reverses come. Hope has a way of motivating us to attempt the impossible, to believe in the unbelievable, and to endure the unbearable. It was once said that when Alexander the Great would prepare to go into battle, that he would give all of his earthly possessions away. And on one occasion, someone asked him why he did that and not keep at least something for himself. He said, "Oh, I always keep one thing for myself. I always keep hope." Hope was the most treasured possession because he knew that if he survived the battle, that with hope he could regain all that he had given away. When life seems impossible and your hurts are overwhelming, cling to hope and look to Jesus Christ. For those who believe in Him sorrow not as those who have no hope. It is truly a hope that reaches out into eternity. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
You know the saying, desperate times call for desperate measures. What do you do when you get to a dead end? Sometimes life just doesn't go the way we planned it to go. And when you're in those seasons of life, what do? Where do you go? Who do you turn to? Join Sagebrush Church as we begin our series, Dead End Desperation, where we'll talk about following God in some of the hardest moments of our lives. Be sure to visit sagebrush.church or download the Sagebrush app for locations, service times, and more.
Get ready for fantastic discounts. From now through to September 30th, Belize is having store-wide discounts on tools, paints, appliances, plumbing and electrical products, lights and fans, household items, and much, much more. Visit a Belize store near you to enjoy fantastic discounts from now through to September 30th, only at Belize. Quality and savings.
Belize City O Capital Sports and Moyuna Resort present Friday Night Live this Friday, March 3rd. Your high-octane, sharp-shooting, high-flying Belize City defenders to battle with the second hottest team in the BEPL, the Reach Walk Running Rebels. Come and witness the 1-2 combination of newcomer Lorenzo Dillon and the Talladega Tornado, Mr. MVP Nigel Jones. Lead the #1 team in the BBL, your Belize City Defenders. Fans, come get a chance at our 1-2-3 halftime challenge, where someone can walk away with $3,000 in cold hard cash. The after party goes down inside Shisha 8 Lounge. Tickets go on sale at the Civic Center ticket booths on Friday morning at 9 a.m. Sponsored by Moyuna Resorts, 1-2-3 Vegetable Oil, Honorable Anthony Marlon, Print Inc., Channel 5, Belize City Council, The Tavern, Party 2000, Shisha 8 Lounge, Premier Charters and Tours, Smiling Meats, Nocturnal, Full Memory Photography, and Mars Renter.
On Thursday, the government of Belize issued a statement refuting allegations being made in other parts of the media against Rodwell Ferguson, Minister of Youth, Sports and Transport. The accusations made against the Stand Creek West area representative involved the purchase of air conditioning units. The release went on to say categorically, quote, "There is absolutely no truth to the information contained in the post, nor in what was stated on Wave Radio. 10 AC units were purchased by the Ministry of Transport to be placed at the ministry's offices in the south. All AC units have been installed," end quote. The statement, however, was issued while Minister Ferguson was away on a working visit to Mexico. When we spoke with him earlier today about the allegations, not only was he livid, Ferguson also threatened legal action against those media houses that aired or published the false claims.
There is an allegation that has been brought against you with respect of some air conditioners and the fact that they are accusing you in a manner of attempting to get these items paid for by the government but for personal use at your hotel.
All right, first of all, we have irresponsible media and you will face the wrath of the law. I just came out from Mexico last night. This morning I went to cry out for the La Ruta Maya. Now I'm here. So I'm not a minister who wants to stand idle. And I want to caution this nation, and I want to tell the Prime Minister, I don't do investigation yet, but you can dash me out of your cabinet if you find any wrongdoings against me with any air condition. Dash me out of your cabinet, sir.
How do you respond directly to the allegation nonetheless?
I will not respond directly because my lawyer will, everything will be in the case of the hands of my lawyer, and we are going to court with this one because I will not allow him to stain my name and my integrity.
For his part, the president of the Public Service Union has also opined on the allegations brought against Minister Ferguson. According to Dean Flowers, should the assertions against the Minister of Transport prove to be true, it is their hope that Prime Minister Briceño would expel Ferguson from cabinet.
And I would hope that he would be removed from cabinet if it is found to be true. But I don't know what to expect and whether or not this administration, this Prime Minister is serious about having credible people within his cabinet. Because the last Prime Minister, falsely of course, said that he wanted credible people in his cabinet, and we see how that turned out, a whole bunch of tainted individuals. But nonetheless, as it concerns this crowd, it is not only the Honorable Ferguson.
A letter written to Chief Executive Officer Marconi Leal Jr. on February 23rd by Minister of Youth, Sports and Transport Rodwell Ferguson informs that as of that date, any financial transaction above $5,000 should be presented to him for scrutiny and approval. The decision to severely restrict the CEO's spending power flies in the face of his office as the ministry's chief accounting officer. Nonetheless, Leal's political boss rationalizes the move by stating that he is responsible for the overall budget allotted to the ministry. When we caught up with Minister Ferguson earlier today, we asked him about that decision and what prompted the immediate measures that have been put in place.
Speak to us about the letter that you wrote to your CEO in respect of him seeking your express approval for any expenses above $5,000.
Because I got some information and I put out the letter. But I will not go any further until I do my research and see exactly what went wrong, if anything went wrong in my ministry. I will not tolerate it. I just come back yesterday. When I go back, I'll call my technical people together and I'll do my investigation for myself.
Minister, this seems to put a strain on the relationship between you and your CEO. It's reminiscent of what happened in a past configuration where the previous Minister of Health had an issue with his CEO as well. And it led to them being able to write a letter that limited her ability to spend.
Because when I go to the National Assembly, regardless of what the system says, I'm going to vote for a part of the budget. And I want that budget to be spent wisely and accurately and responsibly.
Is it your belief then that this is not the case? Or this hasn't been the case?
I don't want to say anything now until I do my own research.
Bus operators embroiled in a public transportation face-off with the government of Belize have been relatively quiet these past days in the wake of a meeting that was held last week with the Transport Department. During the lengthy sit-down, the Belize Bus Association demanded that a press release outlining the points that were agreed to by both parties be issued. While that statement was released late last Friday and the president of the BBA had to return to his membership for their input, there has been radio silence. Transport Minister Rodwell Ferguson, in speaking with reporters earlier today, reiterated his mandate to clean up and improve the public transportation system.
I'm here to do a job. I got a mandate from Cabinet and Plan Belize and the IDB that the bus industry in this country must upgrade, and I'm determined to complete my mission.
The commuters have complained that they have not been asked about the decisions that are being made that are going to affect them. Do you think that they should be consulted, or what's the plan?
Belizeans are reluctant to change. When the change comes, they will embrace it.
But do you think that they should at least be made part of the discussion?
That's why when you are finished with the system, you have Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. So you will determine which bus you want to run. If you want to wear a first class, it's up to you. If you want to wear a second class, it's up to you.
Part of the agreement, as far as I'm made to understand, is that the bus runs would be divided into regions, so to speak. And so there are more than one players in the north, and they are supposed to consolidate to 2 runs. Is this even feasible?
Belize is the only country in the world that have private owners own the bus companies. And so we are saying then for it to be controlled, we have to limit the amount of operators. Imagine one man got one bus run, the one from Corozal from PG, when the bus broke down, what will happen? So you all are commuters. So ask me that question, you're supposed to know better that, you know what, it is not right to have 51 operators in the north.
After the break, is there a lack of enforcement in control price of brown sugar? We'll tell you about that, but first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
The last time we visited Miss Francesca Howers was to deliver the exciting news that she was chosen to receive a home sponsored by SMART for its 18th anniversary through the Hand in Hand Ministries housing program. Since then, she has actively been participating in attending Saturday sessions to improve her life skills, cleared her property for its foundation and construction of her home, and has assisted in the construction of a home for another recipient of Hand in Hand housing program. All these activities are to foster a more responsible, responsive citizen in our community.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
Environmentally degradable plastics, or EDP, are plastics that are affected by a combination of environmental conditions that cause the plastic to break down within an acceptable time frame. They are specifically designed to degrade into carbon dioxide, water, and other biomass substances. The level of breakdown can vary based on standard test methods appropriate to the plastic. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
Earlier this week, the Corozal Sugarcane Producers Association and the Progressive Sugarcane Producers Association proposed an increase in the prices of brown and plantation white sugars, noting that the last adjustment in cost of the plantation white sugar sold domestically was back in 2015, when it was increased to 75 cents. At that time, the increase was not extended to brown sugar, for which the controlled retail price has been 39 cents per pound since 2001. That's 22 years ago. Since then, inflation in Belize has risen, not to mention transportation costs, which have skyrocketed. On Wednesday, Prime Minister John Briceño said that an increase cannot be considered at this time, even though the retail price of basic items are more than 3 times the controlled price of brown and plantation white sugar. Today, the Belize Sugar Industries spoke to its letter of request dated February 8, saying that the current situation is fundamentally unfair to the sugar industry.
As we've outlined what we believe to be some very strong economic arguments for why there should be an increase in the price of brown sugar. As you mentioned, it hasn't moved for 22 years, and when you consider the fact that inflation has increased significantly in those past 22 years, the cost of production, all the factors of production in land, capital, and labor has gone up. Those make compelling arguments. In addition to that, we know that in terms of what brown sugar can get or obtain in the region, in our neighboring countries, it's more than twice what we're selling here in Belize. And so you risk as well having cross-border contraband. And we used to see that with plantation white sugar before it was adjusted in 2015, that there was a big influx, or in our sense, contraband of plantation white sugar going out of Belize into neighboring Mexico and Guatemala, because it was being sold much higher in those markets. And so from our standpoint, it's creating a market distortion where it's below the price or the world market price for sugar at the moment. It's below the cost of production. And, considering, as we said, that it hasn't moved for 22 years, we think those are strong arguments for why there should be an increase in the price.
But is the sugar industry the victim of a dysfunctional price control system? ASR-BSI's Director of Finance, Sean Chavarria, says it has taken too long for any adjustment to be revisited and should be looked at more regularly. If you go into any shop, brown sugar is being sold at 50 cents at the least. That's 11 cents above the controlled retail price. BSI says that the request is for an adjustment from 39 cents to 65 cents per pound, and the impact on an average family of 4 is about 36 cents a week. Farmers would see an improvement in cane price of about $1 per ton of cane. Chavarria was asked about the lack of enforcement on the controlled price of brown sugar as it is being sold in supermarkets at a higher price and its impact.
We do know generally that that's something that's difficult on a whole for the government to do because of the lack of resources. Certainly we suffer from it in the sense that the perception with the consumer is that we have been increasing the price for sugar when in fact we haven't. And so for us, it affects us negatively in that sense because the average consumer might believe that, we're taking more and we're passing on costs, which is not the case. So we're not benefiting whenever these prices go up, but we do know that there is some challenges in terms of having the resources to, enforce and try to stop price gouging in the marketplace. If you were to strictly go by the price control regulation, the price should be 39 cents. BSI sells it here at the mill for 34 cents. So the 5 cents is what's supposed to be shared between the distributor and the retail. But we've done research and we know that brown sugar really, for many years, have been sold on the shelves for, I think, minimum 50 cents. And you've seen recently it go up even further. And so really, the actual control price is in fact 39 cents, and that was put in place in 2001. But it would seem over the years that it's just been increased by, we don't know if it's the distributors or the retailers, but it's gone up to the point where it is today.
Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association has also issued a release saying that it supports the Prime Minister's comments and that it is also against an increase in the cost of brown sugar. What's the status of the 2022 sugar crop season? It's been 63 days since milling began, but according to ASR-BSI's Cane Farmer Relations Manager, Olivia Aviles, the mill's report up to Thursday indicates that 350,834 tons of cane have been processed so far. This is over 57,000 tons more than last year. 32,561 tons of sugar have been produced, but there are issues with cane quality. Aviles breaks down the challenges.
One of the challenges that we do have with the crop is that it's a bit younger than last year, given we started a bit earlier. And we do have some standover that we're dealing with at this time. Farmers had a challenge at the forefront of this crop to be able to get to those standover due to wet conditions and also the bad state of the road, of the sugar roads. So they were unable to get to those. They're just starting to get to those at this time now that it's dry, and getting through that cane is lower quality. Of course, this is after the blockade that we started a later crop. So the crop this year, we're trying to put it back into cycle. Remember, we should be starting a crop from December to around June. And that's more or less the maturity of the sugarcane. So those are some of the key parameters on sugarcane at this time and the crop. We're milling fairly well. Our effective grinding rate is going well at this time.
When we return, who will win La Ruta Maya in 2023? We'll have a limb snag day one.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway, from Roaring Creek to Esperanza, has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times, and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
With eCash, bill payment is extremely convenient, and all utility companies accept eCash payments. What's even better? You get to split bills with your roommates, siblings, or whoever you desire. Simply open your eCash app, go to Bill Pay, tap the respective utility company, enter the information, and pay the bill. Then tap the transaction made. Tap Split the bill. Select Evenly. Send the request to who you are splitting the bill with, and get notified when they pay. Talk about making life easy and avoiding confusion. You can split the bill for restaurants, grocery stores, and for any eCash payment you make. To find your next yummy meal, hair treatment, or chill spot, simply open the app and utilize the geolocation service to see nearby businesses that accept eCash. Geolocation and bill payment make life a whole lot easier.
for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Special offer alert! Trade in your old device and active SIM and get a Samsung A04e for as low as $85, plus 50% off your Share One plan for the first 3 months. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. Now that's love! So this month, get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
The 26th running of the Pelican La Ruta Maya Belize River Challenge kicked off this morning in the twin towns of Santa Elena, San Ignacio. This year's event has 57 teams of paddlers racing the 180-mile journey to Belize City over the next 4 days. As is the tradition, the race ends at the Pelican Bridge in Belize City on Monday. But how has the race advanced over the years, and how can it further promote Belize's tourism product? News 5's Marian Ali reports.
The burst of energy that is seen each year when the horn is blown at 7 a.m. at the historic Hawksworth Bridge in San Ignacio punctuated much of today on the Macal River between Santa Elena and Banana Bank. It was the scene where 57 teams of paddlers tried from day one in the Pelican La Ruta Maya Belize River Challenge to set the pace, earn respect, and create time difference among themselves. Deputy High Commissioner to Belize, Kate Reynolds, was paddling in the mixed category, along with 2 other team members of her mission to Belize on the team British High and Dry.
I saw it last year and I thought it looked really, really good. So, so we wanted to enter. So we've been training hard. We've been training since, every weekend. So we've been working in the week and then coming out weekends and then a couple of really early mornings as well. So some people will win prizes. I've a funny feeling we might not win a prize, which is fine. We just want to finish and it's a great thing. And the whole premise behind the whole thing about looking after the environment and picking up litter and all that is very good.
Like the Deputy High Commissioner, Olivia DiMaggio, and her team Salt from Benke were also not looking for any prizes and were just out there for the fun and experience.
We put in some practice. We put in some good, hard practice. Right. Just some, though.
All right. What do you think about the river? Is it going to work in your favor? Is it?
Yeah, this river is calling our name. It's ready for us. It was made for our team. I think we'll do pretty good. I think we'll get in the top 3.
The guys who showed they were serious about earning bragging rights today are a group of teens who make up Team Guava Lim. They outgunned last year's champs Team Papt to gain attention on day 1 when they paddled in first at Banana Bank. Their team captain is 19-year-old Javier Guardado.
We come with a mentality to come in first, all is in your mind.
And are you hoping for the big win at the end of the race?
Well, sure.
Okay, so what was the determining factor for you guys on this first leg? I understand it's the most challenging.
Yes, well, I think we had the advantage because we are the lightest team.
Okay.
Yeah, and well, we trained very hard, and I think the training talks a lot at the end.
For event organizer Orlando Harrison, improving the race is always on the agenda.
For this year, we have improved the safety and rescue on the river. We have tried to make more teams register. We had an increase this year from last year. So we're pretty much been planning this for almost 6-7 months now.
26 years into it. Do you still have like last minute hiccups, and what would those be?
Not necessarily hiccups, because I think by starting to plan from early, we are able to kind of dot the I's and the T's, and so we are pretty much know what we are meeting.
For those in tourism, this event can sell Belize even more as a tourism destination. BTB's Director of Industry Development, Josue Carballo, explained.
We believe the race is at such maturity stage that it can definitely step up to that, not only just a national but on the international scene when it comes to sports and festival tourism. It is big on our agenda in tourism right now to promote it. Sports tourism brings teams together, it brings their supporting cast, it brings visitors to actually support that. We have seen a couple of foreign nationals that have registered in the race. We hope that together we can work to make that be increased, but more so as well beyond the sporting aspect of it. When you start to look at the different stops that are in between the races, there's a rich diversity of culture that we can see in these villages that are stops when it comes to the music, to the dances, to cuisine. So the Ruta Maya is definitely an integral part of the tourism product which we can enhance and grow.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
Young men and women from across the country were recognized today by the government of Belize for exemplary work they have been doing in shaping the future of the country through academic, athletic, and social accomplishments. The National Youth Awards ceremony was to have taken place in November of last year, but Hurricane Lisa forced the postponement of the annual event. This year, however, 2 award ceremonies are being held. The first took place earlier today at the Biltmore. Minister of Youth, Sports and Transport Rodwell Ferguson discussed the impact of acknowledging the efforts of Belize's adolescents.
Since Kevin Cale became the Director of Youth, he's very adamant to make sure we recognize our young people every year. This recognition should have been done in November of 2022 when the hurricane came and everything had to be cancelled. And so he wanted to make sure he pursue the 2022 now, and also at November of 2023 we're going to do the 2023 awards. I think it is significant because young people somehow are just left out of the society, and we expect them to do better when they take over as government. So this is an opportunity for them to say, okay, if I want to take leadership, I got to start now at an early age. So I feel very cognizant. I'm happy that we're able to do it.
What is the impact of this, though, in terms of not only acknowledging these young men and women, but in terms of shaping the way they think and the way they act going forward?
Well, if you notice, they have national impact. We have people here all the way from the south, from the north, from the west. Because when we took over the ministry, so we're going to reach out not only to Belize City, but across the country. And we can feel the significant impact on young people. They want to aspire, they want to strive for the best.
Today, a young mother of 2 small children is the beneficiary of a new wooden home after 2 organizations teamed up to come to her aid. Francisca Hauer had been meaning to expand her dwelling on Antelope Street Extension, but that dream was far from reality. Then Hurricane Lisa set her back farther. But Smart and Hand in Hand Ministries teamed up, and when we stopped by today, they were literally there helping to put up a new wooden home for Hauer and her children. We spoke with all parties concerned.
Well, we are celebrating our 18th anniversary on March 29th of this year. And so in November, we decided to partner with Hand in Hand Ministries and build a home for a smart customer that needs it, especially after Hurricane Lisa. So we launched right after Hurricane Lisa the application process, and it was a very tough job to select one person, right? We had 4 recipients that were deserving of the house, based on the speculations by Hand in Hand Ministries program. So we visited those 4 families. We interviewed them. We looked at a needs-based assessment, and we selected, after several hours of the discernment, we selected Miss Francisca Hauer to receive the house that you see being built here today.
We find the people come to us, they go through a process, and once they come through the process, from doing the application, we vetting the client to ensure that it's a person that needs our help. And then with that process, then those are the persons that we would put out to Smart, and they will decide who they will bill for. It was a process, and I'm sure for Smart, it was a bit difficult having to choose one, because obviously they saw the need that the others have. All the others that they visited will get a home from us. Because they have been vetted already, but it was just a matter for them to choose who they wanted to build for.
Well, I just needed, basically you could say space. I have 2 kids, and they're, I'd say like just to have space for them to be comfortable and. I saw the advertisement, went through the application process, did the interview, they came, do another assessment, and after doing the assessment, sitting down, having the meeting, they came and say that we got accepted into the program.
Okay, so I'm sure you're happy.
Yes, I am excited.
Up next, children celebrate Child Stimulation Month through a child beating cancer.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
If you are ailing due to a chronic disease and are left permanently invalid before retirement age, you may want to check if you qualify to receive invalidity benefit. The invalidity benefit exists for persons who are unable to continue working due to permanent illness. To qualify, you must be under 60 years old, must be sick for 26 consecutive weeks and certified to be medically unable to perform any type of work, must have at least 5 years of paid SSB contributions and at least 5 paid within the 3 months leading up to your illness. If you do not qualify for the invalidity pension, you may be eligible for the invalidity grant. Want to know more about invalidity benefit? Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
On March 5th in Belize City, the 94th edition of the Baron Bliss Harbor Regatta takes place off Seashore Drive in the Buttonwood Bay area of Belize City. Come out at 9 a.m. and witness as 6 sailing clubs battle head-to-head for the coveted title of champions and thousands of dollars in cash and prizes. It's a showdown that you won't want to miss, as the spectacular 16 sailing dories from Gales Point, Malantee is back. Come on out and tailgate along the shore or find that perfect spot to barbecue and imbibe while enjoying the sights and sounds of the Baron Bliss Harbor Regatta. Sunday, March 5th at 9 a.m. Sponsors are the Bliss Trust, Honorable Anthony Mahler and the BTB, Mahias United, Honorable Dolores Valderramas Garcia, Bowen & Bowen, and Mr. Wally Brown. Special thanks to the Belize Coast Guard, the Belize Ports Authority, and the Belize City Council.
After a rough week of school, Jake and his friends decide to treat themselves to frozen coffee. And since they don't have cash on them, they decide to use eCash. With eCash's geolocation feature, Jake can easily find the nearest coffee spot. With eCash's built-in option to split bills, Jake can pay the bill and his friends can reimburse their portion of the bill. Jake scans the merchant's code and confirms payment. Jake then views his transaction history and taps on the transaction recently made, then taps the split the bill button where he selects the evenly option to evenly split the bill. The application splits the bill automatically. his friends receive and accept the request. Geolocation and splitting the bill via eCash makes Jake enjoy his digital lifestyle.
Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo Messi! What an incredible strike from Leo Messi! Neymar and Messi is standing over this. Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo
Great
Messi!
entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
As we celebrate child stimulation in the month of March, Sabrina Daly got an interesting take on how one school is embracing the festivities. This week's Bright Side took her to the Dangriga Cancer Center, where a ringing of the bell brought about a celebration of children for a battle won by one of their own.
On the Bright Side is brought to you by Uno, a brand committed with the future.
If you ask a child, what is cancer? These are some of the responses you might get.
It is when you get bald and bruises get on your body.
Cancer is a disease when you can lose your hair and it affects some vessels inside your skin.
Cancer is when you start to lose your hair and the blood vessels that you have they start to turn bad, and basically it's a disease that will affect you the most.
The month of March is recognized for advocacy of child stimulation. It is embracing the emotional and physical needs of children by exposing them to concepts of learning from as early as their birth. For Coastland Education Institute in Dangriga, it was an opportunity to learn and understand more about cancer through one of their own.
That's from your friend, Ella.
Nivan Pacheco is Belize's youngest cancer survivor. He was diagnosed with leukemia at the age of 3, and today was a celebration as he would ring the symbolic bell of victory for the first time.
So the bell is like the hardest part of the battle is over.
The battle is over, and that's the emotional, part for the patient. It's like, I can't believe I've actually come to the end of this, because I remember when he just started and he saw his mates, ringing that bell, and he turned around and asked his mom, when am I going to do this? And the mother said, you have a long way to go, child. So I looked at him and said, Nivan, not to worry. Your time is coming, and his time is now.
Leukemia is a cancer of the blood cells and is one of the most common illnesses that affect children and teenagers. For Nivan's parents, the diagnosis was their first encounter with someone afflicted by cancer. Soon enough, they would understand that at times, his therapy required moving to another country for treatment.
It was hard because I tell them none of my family have that. I don't know. My way might be a big where that come from, because none of my family have that kind of sickness. He never looked sick. He started with pain in the belly, fever. Then we carry him to the doctor because his belly getting big. And when carry him to the doctor say him blood in at 2%. That he never have no more blood.
Only see and my little boy could go because it was COVID time and papers were really passport. Then they don't give passports, so we could cross the border. It was really kind of difficult to.
So you stay home with the other
Yes,
kids?
I will have to stay home, and we don't have our own house. We rent too, so we may have to pay rent, and I have to stay and work.
It's a fight the body has to overcome to survive cancer. But what is often overlooked are the emotional and mental tolls. Nivan's mother shared the hardest part of this journey, hearing her son verbally express giving up.
He always tell me when he's sick, Ma, I want to die better. Make you know they suffer. But I know that God give him an opportunity more to be. And I know he will be strong. He's strong. He passed through a lot of things, but now he want to go to school and he tell me, Man, I want to sing, I want to go to church. And he asks every time he want, but he can't go out like that. Every time he asks me that he won't be somebody like them picnic will play, will go out.
So now that the battle is won, Nivon can achieve all the desires he once expressed, and Coastal Education Institute sent over children for the celebration. Nurse Prosper Fijo is also an administrative staff at the Institute. He shared the importance of including the children in this celebration during Child Stimulation Month.
In the month of March particularly, we have the Child Stimulation Month, which is a targeted event to mostly 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, which is preschoolers. But for us, we take it serious. We translate the child stimulation package into the primary school. And because essentially they are all children. And while they are stimulated every day, while their sense of awareness is stimulated through education, we thought that in the month of March, why not go a little out of the regular to bring a little bit of more awareness to these kids. And in reality, cancer can affect children. So we thought, why not bring the awareness to that population? Why not make them aware, particularly about the sickness cancer? Because that's a debilitating sickness. It can take a toll on the whole body, particularly leukemia, which is a cancer of the blood.
For Nivon, this celebration represents a second chance at life, and the bell is a signal that it's now begun. Looking on the bright side, I'm Sabrina Daly.
On the Bright Side was brought to you by Uno, a brand committed with the future.
That's the sound of fuel efficiency. Every day, every time, I choose Uno Fuels powered with Dynamix. Uno, a brand committed with the future.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. I'm Annalyn Apollonia. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, have a happy and safe weekend. Good night.